This document addresses some of the remarks that have been made by my colleagues on the other side of the aisle about reductions in the Forest Service. The title of this particular article is Forest Service Employment Numbers. Did the Forest Service add 20% more permanent employees in the last 2 years? This is dated March 10th of this year, and the answer is yes, yes it did. 20% more permanent employees. So I'm going to read this. So in 2 years, 2023 and 2024, the Forest Service added 5,860 permanent positions, of which 1,430 were in fire. And so if we take 28,500, the average, would that be permanent employees? Would that be a 20% increase of permanent employees at the Forest Service in the last 2 years? And the answer is yes. And so I make this point because I'm becoming tired and of the tedious remarks about gutting the agency when in point of fact that's not true. And what's happening is there's a focused effort to confuse people over the nature of permanent employees on the one hand versus temporary on the other. Just to find out though what's really going on, I had my staff reach out to the Bureau of Land Management back in Oregon where I'm from. I have a 70,000 square mile district. So it's very important to me that the BLM and the Forest Service be appropriately staffed. Here's what they said. The BLM ensures my staff that the agency is fully operational and ready for a robust fire season in Oregon. The BLM said they are allowed to hire appropriate staff for all firefighting needs. They are currently hiring staff for the upcoming fire season and are confident that they have the appropriate staff. And we also reached out to the U.S. Forest Service, and they are also sure that they have the proper level of employees, which is as high or higher than last year. They're still actively hiring and have had a surge of local individuals applying for wildfire fighting positions. And finally, I spoke to them myself when I went back to my district 2 weeks ago, and I asked flat out, both the BLM and the Forest Service in the largest populated area in my district, do you need more help? And the answer was no. So I'm impatient with the misplaced focus on staffing when we should be talking about what in the world can we do about what's making these fires so hot. So to that end, I'm going to ask Ms. Wolf, the devices that you have available, you say, are available to measure risk. And it seems to me that we all agree that the risk is higher because things are drier, but also because of the enormous stack up and accumulation of fuel in our forests, the incredible amount of fuel. So while we see people running around screaming about not having enough people to fight the fire, they seem to be completely ignoring the increase in the temperature by virtue of failing to manage our forests, which Congressman McClintock referenced. Does your approach, your technological approach, allow you to call out where people should be the most concerned about being burned up? Does your technology do that?
It does. Our system is powered by a company that we joined forces with called Pyrologics. They're the most advanced fire scientists in the country. We're able to see at a very fine scale across communities where more defensible space is needed, in the wild-urban interface, and then out in wildlands, how fire behavior might happen, how fire might move into a community. We call that pyrocity.
So let me ask this question, because I have a nephew in the insurance business, and of course it's becoming extremely difficult in these fire-prone areas to find fire insurance for obvious reasons.
Yes.
Does your technology enable cities to identify where the risk is and then reduce it?
It does, and you're right. In many places in the country, that we have 2 to 10 times the number of trees that were historically there. Our forests in the West are hazardously overgrown, and there are places where we can help remove timber for the American Timber Executive Order that Mr. Trump pushed out recently, and we can also reduce fire risk. In many places, those things don't overlap, and we do have to reduce fuels.
So let me ask a somewhat politically motivated question, because as you apply your technology to the landscape, you would be able to call out where fuel has been added to by all kinds of mismanaged situations. And what I've been trying to do is call out the environmental organizations that have filed lawsuits to prevent us from going into the forest and removing the fuel. So your technology would allow us to say, oh yes, there was a forest plan, an offered sale that was then litigated, and we couldn't remove the fuel. Your technology would show how much fuel was not removed. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you could give us, how far back can you go? Because obviously we'd like to be able to show what's really happening on the ground, which is an insane amount of added fuel every year. How far back can you go?
Well, the Landsat technology goes back 30 years. We typically look 5 years in arrears to look at the treatments that have happened or have not happened, and we can look at risk projection based on historic, but also forecasted risk projections. And they are really critical. We're intersecting with insurance, where we can show the pre and post risk profile change of a HOA, of a high value asset, when treatment happens. And we're working with innovative insurers to actually get communities insurance at a normal price and make sure it's available. It is a big problem.
But another thing that I hope you're doing is reaching out to the cities and the county leaders and saying, look, we happen to have this report and it shows you're in serious danger, big time danger, do something about it. And that's what just happened in my district. Thank goodness we've had some fire barriers made around our various cities. Thank you so much for being here. Yield back.